I like to know where people stand so I know how to treat you accordingly.
They be trying to do it, I'm just doing me. I be working hard and they just want it free.
Be competitive with yourself.
Hey, what's going on? It's Jsean for another video. This particular video right here, don't even know exactly what I'm talking about. I just think I want to touch up on, like, you know, everybody goes through tough relationships and stuff like that. I basically want to just talk about, you know, relationships, you know what I mean? Specifically talking about, you know, like intimate relationships, dating and that type of stuff. And I wanted to talk about this because I know a lot of people always say, like, you know, relationships, you know, require a lot of work. And I just have to say, you know, I don't believe in that. I do believe it requires a lot of understanding and growth, and growing meaning growing together, right? So I do believe that, but I don't believe that it actually is hard work. Because think about this. The only time it's hard work, in my mind, in my opinion, is when somebody, because it's two people in a relationship, right? Doesn't matter if it's marriage, dating, whatever. It doesn't matter how long you've been together, how long you've been not together or not been together, right? I feel like one person doesn't love the same as the other person. So if you do something, you know how people say the day you stop working is when you do something you love, right? It's because they love and have a passion, a connection with whatever that thing is that they're doing, that most will consider work, but they consider it not work because they love doing it, right? That means all the hard work that goes into it is not considered work at that point. You know, you enjoy it, so it's not work. When you look at a relationship, and you know, correct me if I'm wrong, this is just my opinion, but in a relationship, I feel like, you know, just that's why in the very beginning, you know, everybody's happy, and in the very beginning, everybody's seemingly in love, and it's not hard work. It's easy to make time for somebody. It's easy to wine and dine somebody, to be polite, all these different things. I think the problem is in certain stages, in certain relationships, one person's not being totally genuine. You know, maybe both of y'all ain't. And I'm not saying everybody, but I'm saying a lot of people are like this. They're not actually that genuine. So if you got a guy, for example, and you're dating a guy, and later on you're like, man, he used to open the doors for me. He used to do this for me. He used to do that for me. More than likely, it was never in his character to do those things if he changed. It's because that he was only doing it to wow you, to impress you. Just like when you go on an interview, you know, you put on a certain attire, you have a certain attitude, you speak a certain way, but you don't speak that way on a daily basis. You don't dress that way on a daily basis. You're dressing to impress. You're speaking to impress. You're on an interview, you know. So I think a lot of people, when they're dating, they treat it the same way. It's like you're on an interview, you know, you got to be at your best. And then what happens is over time, you start seeing who they really are. That's why it's important to date. That's why it's important, I guess, to really know somebody before you take certain steps further. Even when you live together, some people say things change. It ain't that it changes, it's just you're starting to see who they really are. You know what I'm saying? So when you are in relationships like that and you continue on with the relationship, even though you start noticing that certain things ain't really adding up or you're not really happy anymore, it's not that you're not happy anymore. It's just that you were kind of being shown a highlight reel. You know what I'm saying? You're being shown a highlight reel so it appeared better than what it was. Like seeing a theater release and you see the highlight reel of a movie, or, you know, the promo video for the movie, and you kind of like digging it. But then when you watch the movie, you realize it had no substance. All the exciting parts of the movie was actually the trailer itself. You know what I'm saying? You're kind of disappointed now. It's not that the movie ever changed. It's what it always been. It's just that you had a different perception of it. You didn't get the full picture, the full story. So that's why it's important to know people, important to date people and see them out there. Dating phase element. Now, in my opinion and in my experience and in who I am, especially for ladies or men, I guess, don't think that there are no men or women who are genuine. Don't think that there's nobody who genuinely wants to open the door for you. Don't think there's not a guy who, just for my ladies, you know, don't think there's not a guy out there who wants to wow you. There's not a guy out there who wants to love you and console you and be that provider, man, and comforter, all the above, you know. And women the same. You know, not all women are just on some physical money grabbing, even though it looks like it out now with the social media jumping. You know, not all women are like that. It's like maybe a lot are, just like a lot of men ain't shit, you know, in certain circumstances. Not everybody's like that, you know, even if your experiences have taught you to think that's what it's like. There's more out there. Don't give up on, you know, yourself, especially. Make sure you have that self-worth, and you try to connect with people who can offer what you are willing and wanting to offer. You know, you just want to find somebody who's willing to do the same for you on whatever level that is. And some people mismatch, and some people help the other person grow, and vice versa, and you learn to grow together. That's good too, you know. But again, I don't believe that real love is hard. The world makes it hard, maybe. Complications of world circumstances can make it difficult. I've been through that personally. But I feel like if the love was strong and the love was the same, mutual with each person, you'll find a way. Trust me, when you care for somebody and you want somebody, I don't want to hear you're too busy. I don't care if you're the male or female. You're never too busy. You will find a way. If it's something that you want and there is an opening, you will find the opening, or you'll create the opening for something that you want. Now, if you ain't making that, then that means you ain't that interested in it, or you don't want it as bad as you're making it seem to be. Not everybody's like that though, so don't get confused and thinking that there's no good men out there. Don't go getting confused thinking there's no good women out there. At the end of the day, like I said, I think a lot of it is a little confused, and it's something that I even learned along the way. It's like everybody can be happy, actually. Everybody can be happy and find that person that really connects with them. You just gotta be patient and open-minded, and you might have to explore and be places and be around things that you never was around before to recognize and really see that. But yeah, I don't believe that. I don't think a lot of things in life now I think are supposed to be as hard as they come off to be. I'm not saying it's not supposed to be difficult. I'm just saying it's not as hard as it feels like. And if it is, it's because it ain't right. It's like the world is telling you it ain't right. You know better. You know when it's not right, but you're not listening to your own self and your own intuition, and you're just going for how you feel at that moment versus what you know. You know, I think we all know the answers deep inside, what's for us and what's not for us, you know. And I think a lot of people get caught up in that, and they think about how long they've invested their time, their money, their feelings into a situation, and they won't leave, and they'll keep going and growing thinking it's going to change, when all along they knew what they're getting themselves into, and then they dug themselves in a deeper hole to a point where now you're attached to a sense, and now you almost look at it like it's sort of like an investment, for lack of better words, and then you don't want to lose that investment. You keep going, and at the end of the day, man, that's when it gets hard. That's when it starts getting hard, because you realize it's not the same. It's not mutual. It's not equal. It's not nothing. The way that you will fight for that person, they are not fighting for you. And it's very unbalanced. Now one person's taking all the pressure, and it's like leaning really hard instead of having an equal balance of something or a situation. So all my fellas, all my ladies out there, think about this, man, what I'm saying to you. If you ain't happy, keep it pushing, man. Don't wait until it's harder. Just as soon as you realize it, man, do for yourself. Have respect for yourself and love for yourself to the point where you deserve more. You know what I'm saying? You know that you deserve more. You want more. You're going to get more. That's simple, you know. So don't get stuck in the fact of, or not the fact, but don't get stuck in the mindset of there's nothing else out there. There's definitely other things out there. You know, just got to be open-minded. And the better, I will say this, don't get so caught up in a point where you forget you. You know, make sure that you are focusing on yourself, because as you focus on yourself, you will attract the right type of people, you know. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm super tired, man. My eyes are barely open right now. The sun was blazing earlier. But yeah. All right. So with that being said, make sure you do everything at top level, at your top level. And remember, you're no competition with anybody except yourself. So make sure your next move is your best move, or at least your better move. Till next time. Later.